Hi, welcome to the volunteer orientation for the Greater Fredericksburg Habitat for Humanity. My name's Jill. I'm your volunteer coordinator, and I'll be doing this presentation with you today. So I'm not actually a cartoon, and I don't actually look anything like this, but I can't wait to meet you in person. So let's jump right into it. So due to coronavirus and our desire to keep everybody as safe and healthy as possible, we've started to do things a little bit differently. So one of those things is we're now hosting our entire new volunteer orientation process online. So right now, set aside about 30 minutes for this orientation video to get a feel for what you're going to be doing as a volunteer. And this video is also going to guide you through getting your volunteer profile all set up on Galaxy, our volunteer management system, and what you'll need to do on Galaxy to sign up for shifts when you're ready. The online process is new to us, but I am here to help. If you have any trouble at all, don't hesitate to email me or call me. My contact info is going to be at the end of this video, and I am here to guide you through this whole online process. Before you pick up a hammer and start building a house, or before you start unloading donations at our restore, now is the time that you're going to learn a bit about the whole process of volunteering and what Habitat for Humanity is and what our core values are. We do this orientation because we want you to know who we are as an organization and all the things that we do for our community. You're about to join our team and be an amazing voice for us in our community, and we're so excited to have you as part of that team. So you're going to be totally informed, and you're going to be ready to get out there and start volunteering.
So here's the outline of exactly what we're going to talk about in this orientation. Hi, by the way, this is what I look like when I'm not a cartoon with my cool headset. So hi. So we're going to talk about the history of Habitat as an organization and why homeownership is so important to us as an organization. And then we're going to talk about our specific affiliate at the Greater Fredericksburg Habitat for Humanity. And then it's all about you. So we'll talk about the volunteer opportunities that we offer. We'll cover some frequently asked questions. We'll talk about what requirements there are for volunteering. And then we'll spend some time going over Galaxy and learning how to sign up and how to qualify so that you can sign up for your first shift. And then it's all about your first day and what to expect so that you're fully prepared when you get out there.
The history of Habitat for Humanity. Habitat's roots can be traced back to a small farm in South Georgia in the 1940s, where a New Testament scholar named Clarence Jordan founded an experimental Christian community named koinonia, which is after the ancient Greek word for fellowship. Clarence Jordan wanted to create a social grouping on the practices of the original apostles. The residents of koinonia worked together, ate together, studied scripture together, and shared all their worldly goods with each other. Now, it was 1940s Georgia, and it was a racially integrated farm community with black and white residents living and working together. So that led to conflict from the surrounding neighbors. After more than a decade of the koinonia residents trying to live peacefully and the Georgians around them trying to force them out, koinonia finally found its footing and really started to thrive in spite of the outside pressure. So meanwhile, Millard and Linda Fuller, who were the eventual founders of Habitat, had donated all their wealth to charity, and they were ready to restructure their lives around service to their fellow man instead of wealth. They heard about what Clarence Jordan was doing at koinonia, and they decided they wanted to visit. So they went to koinonia, and although they had only planned to visit, they ultimately decided to stay once they saw what was happening there. So over the course of the next 3 years at koinonia, with Millard Fuller and Clarence Jordan working together, the vision for Habitat Humanity was born. They came up with several ideas, which they called partnership ministries. One of those initiatives was called partnership housing. The concept centered on those in need of adequate shelter, working side by side with volunteers to build decent, affordable houses. The houses would be built at no profit, and new homeowners' house payments would be combined with no-interest loans provided by supporters and fundraising money to create the Fund for Humanity, which would then be used to build more homes. So by 1969, that plan was in action, and the first Habitat homes were built in Georgia. And it definitely did not stop there. By 1973, the Fullers decided to take the Fund for Humanity concept to Zaire, which is now the Democratic Republic of Congo. So after 3 years of hard work in the Congo, the Fullers returned to the United States and called together a group of supporters to discuss the future of their dream. Habitat for Humanity International, founded officially in 1976. So even though Habitat for Humanity was official, it was still small, didn't have a huge reputation yet. And a lot of that changed with the support of Jimmy Carter. There's definitely a misconception that Jimmy Carter founded Habitat for Humanity. He did not found it, but he was a crucial supporter in the beginning times. So Jimmy Carter getting involved with Habitat in the early 80s made a huge difference in bringing awareness to the organization and building support for it. Jimmy and Rosalind Carter's work project and their continued involvement as volunteers and board members and fundraisers helped make Habitat what it is today. And today, now in 2020, Habitat works in all 50 states in the US and in more than 70 countries, and ultimately has helped more than 29 million people achieve strength, stability, and independence through safe, decent, affordable shelter. So obviously, Habitat for Humanity has grown so much since those early times, back at the Koinonia farm where the idea was born, and obviously rooted in Christian principles. And Habitat for Humanity is a global nonprofit Christian housing organization. But we work with everybody. All who desire to be part of this work are welcome, regardless of religious preference or background. Habitat has a policy of building with people in need, regardless of race or religion. Ultimately, Habitat is about building community, starting with homeownership. But for us, that's not just building houses from the ground up. And as you start volunteering, you're going to see the many different kinds of things that we do in our work. So besides building new houses, we also do rehabs. We do gut jobs of standing houses already. We work with elderly programs to make sure people can stay in their homes for as long as possible. So adding accessibility ramps, multi-floor housing help. We do repairs, we do community and policy advocacy, but ultimately it's all about home ownership.
So why? Why do we focus so much on home ownership? Well, home ownership impacts people in so many different ways. There's so many ways that people are positively affected just by having a safe, stable home. So to start off small, the person and their family, it positively impacts their health, their finances, their education, and just their overall personal development. And then a little bit bigger, we impact neighborhood and community strength. Where home ownership is high, crime rate consistently goes down. Community strength and unity goes up as we offer safe, stable homes where people put down roots and build a life for themselves. And then a step bigger than that, the United States is an expensive country to live in. More than 70% of residents of the US claim they can't afford a stable home. And in 26 states, you can't afford a 2-bedroom apartment with 2 minimum wage jobs. So it's an expensive place to live. So we're addressing the nation's affordable housing crisis as well. So we don't impact just one person or just one family. we impact neighborhoods, communities, and the nation as a whole. And so much of what Habitat does is about community, about strengthening community, starting with the individual and moving outward. Archbishop Desmond Tutu is another one of Habitat's supporters, and he has this to say about our mission. As the physical walls of the home go up, the invisible walls that separate us as people come tumbling down, and hope is built in the community.
So how does it work? How does Habitat choose our home buyers? The short version is, by bringing together volunteers and supporters, Habitat provides affordable mortgage options for qualified applicants. And Habitat homes are not free, but they are sold without a profit. So that's one thing that we really like to make sure our new volunteers understand about how we work. Habitat homes are not given away for free. Habitat homes are not handouts. Instead, we offer a hand up to those who need it. So our homebuyer program operates on what we call the 3 pillars. And the 3 pillars are demonstrating need, a willingness to partner, and an ability to repay. So what does that mean? That means that our home buyers first demonstrate their need. And very often the need for help from Habitat is because of, unsafe or insecure or inaccessible living conditions that they're in now, that sort of thing. So they demonstrate that need. And then the second pillar is willingness to partner. And so for us, we call that sweat equity. That is working with Habitat on all the stuff that we do while they're going through the home buyer process. For us at Greater Fredericksburg, sweat equity for us is 300 hours of community service, and that's both like at the build site and at the restore. So all of our home buyers help out the organization with those 300 hours. But just as importantly, they're getting to know the organization, understanding us through and through in what we do and how we do it. And that way that they can become advocates for Habitat in our community as well. The other part of willingness to partner is our financial literacy course. So we're not just offering a house, we're offering financial sustainability. So our financial literacy course teaches people how to be safe with their money, how to build savings, how to lower debt, increase credit. And there's a final exam at the end of this 2-month course. So it's serious business. And then that third pillar is ability to repay. Because like I said, Habitat homes aren't free. They pay a mortgage like everybody else. And along the way throughout the process, our home buyers are proving their financial security and their financial accountability along the way. So that's the short version of how we select our home buyers for Habitat homes. And really the important thing about it is that our home buyers don't get something for free. Our home buyers work hard to qualify and become meaningful, significant advocates for our organization in the process. So we've talked about Habitat for Humanity in general and our homeowners and our philosophy. So next on our list is our Habitat affiliate in Greater Fredericksburg. So every Habitat affiliate is unique, and that's pretty cool. We all have our own slightly different identities, but of course we all run within the overarching Habitat for Humanity international guidelines. They're like our mothership. So our affiliate, Greater Fredericksburg, was started in 1995. That's our birthday. And our first home was built in 1997. And then in 2001, our restore began. And it began as just a basement yard sale. And now, these days in 2020, like the massive restore warehouse and storefront location that we have, it's crazy to think about that just started from a basement yard sale. And remember, restores are based off of community donations and support. So the sheer size of our restore these days, compared to how we started, is a pure testament to the support of our community and our connection to our community. And we're really, really proud of where our restore has gone. So the next thing is our location. Since we were chartered, we have moved 4 times. In 2015, we moved to where we are now, which is our office on Plank Road, and our restore is right beside our build office. Which brings us to 2020. As of now, we have built 19 homes, and we are still building. We have 3 active projects right now. One thing to remember about our affiliate is that we serve a really big geographic area. So we serve 4 counties: King George, Stafford, Fredericksburg, and Spotsylvania. And that's a really big geographic area, which is why we always need more and more volunteer support as we expand what we do and how we do it. We are always looking for volunteers so we can be more and more helpful to this huge geographic community that we serve.
Okay, so that's our staff and our affiliate. Now it's time to talk about your opportunities as volunteers. So obviously when people think about Habitat for Humanity, they think about building houses, which you guys certainly get to do, but it's not the only thing that you can do to help us out. We have volunteering opportunities at our restore as well, and we are always in need of volunteers at the restore. And of course, volunteer opportunities at the build sites. And you'll see there's an asterisk by the office volunteering. We do have office volunteering opportunities, but they can be sporadic. So you'll see it on Galaxy, and on Galaxy it's one of those things where you just send me an email to see what our needs are, and we go from there. So office volunteering can be sporadic, but you will always be able to sign up to help out at the restore or at a build site. So a little bit more detail about those things. At the restore, if you don't know, the restore is a huge giant like warehouse thrift store that sells not just stuff like home furnishings and home items, but also stuff like home building items. I mean, we're talking stuff like tile and nails and windows and everything. So when you're volunteering at the restore, so much volunteering is about unloading donations and helping us to stock stuff, organize stuff, put prices on stuff when it needs it, and then even stuff like minor repairs of donated items that come in that aren't working all the way but can be fixed, and kind of constant cleaning at the restore because we like to present a really nice store for people. So also, if you're interested in just helping customers at the restore, that's something that you can do too, helping people find stuff and carry stuff to their cars and all of that. And the restore is kind of the face of the organization for a lot of our public supporters. So it's really important that we have volunteer support in there to make it a really good experience for everybody. And then, of course, at the build site, you don't have to have any kind of construction or building experience in order to help us actually build the houses, which is great because I certainly don't have any myself, and I know a lot of people come in without it. If you have experience, that's awesome, and we will love to use your experience, but if you don't, you're still welcome. There is always construction staff there to help supervise and direct you guys as volunteers. And they won't ever set you up with something that you're not comfortable with either, so don't worry. You get to be involved in every aspect of the house building process that you want to be involved in, from stuff like painting to framing and landscaping, window and door installation, all kinds of stuff. So that we're always looking for volunteers on the build site as well. You'll see on Galaxy, the restore offers volunteer hours 6 days a week. Every day they're open, they need volunteers. And the build site offers volunteer hours on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. If you are with a team of volunteers, if you're doing group volunteering, then sometimes we have a special day for groups. But if you're just signing up as an individual, then it's Thursdays, Fridays, or Saturdays, and Saturdays on the build site.
Before you guys get started as volunteers, you're going to watch some safety videos on Galaxy. But obviously right now it's a crazy time. And so besides just safety, we're also going to talk about what we're doing to keep everybody healthy. I am recording this in August of 2020, and I don't know how long all of these will be in effect, so keep in mind it could change a bit, but we are definitely prioritizing your health and your safety. So, due to COVID-19, we have no more than 6 volunteers at a time on the build site, and no more than 5 volunteers at a time at the restore. And the signups on Galaxy have that person limit. So you can't accidentally sign up and make yourself like number 7 on the build site. As long as you're using Galaxy like you're supposed to be, the system enforces that. Besides that, our office is actually closed to the public. So that's another reason that office volunteering is really sporadic. So email me if you want office volunteering opportunities, because the office itself is closed to the public. You're also going to see on Galaxy that there are COVID-19 screening questions that you'll answer before you volunteer. It's standard stuff, like, do you have any symptoms? Have you been in contact with anyone who's tested positive? That sort of thing. So you answer those questions. Also, when you arrive to volunteer, we have the temperature guns, so we'll take your temperature. And it's also worth noting that the restore now has limited hours open to the public. They used to be open 9 to 5, 6 days a week. Now they are open to the public 12 to 5, 6 days a week. But our volunteers are still welcome starting at 9 a.m. So if you want to, you can volunteer at the restore from like 9 to 11 and not have to worry about interacting with the public. So that's a really safe way to volunteer as far as it goes. And of course, we are encouraging and enforcing mask wearing when you're volunteering on the build site, at the restore, at the office. We're serious about wearing masks when you're interacting with strangers. So we're doing everything that we can reasonably to keep you safe and healthy and still allow us to do the work that we do.
Okay, so here we are in Galaxy. You guys, this should look familiar. You've almost certainly already done this, but one thing I wanted to point out. So as you're creating your account, if you are a court-related or community service volunteer, you probably noticed there was a question that pertains to you here on the sign up. So if you are volunteering for any kind of court-related purpose, if you need an official letter to present to the legal system, then you should have answered this question, yes. If you realize that you might not have answered it correctly and you want to be a community service volunteer because you need a letter, it's okay, just send me an email. That way I can funnel you into the correct part of the Galaxy system. It's just that the initial setup for our community service volunteers is different than our regular volunteers, so I have to make sure I have you in the right place in order to provide you with a letter. So send me an email if you think you didn't answer it correctly. If you did answer yes, then I will be in touch with you via email very soon about your community service stuff. And then, of course, if you're a regular volunteer, then I am not a court-related volunteer, easy enough. So then you created your account, and then the next thing that you guys saw was your background check consent. So don't let this scare you. We do informal background checks for all of our volunteers. It's nothing crazy. It's just, to keep everybody safe. So anytime, obviously, that you're signing something, you should read it first. So you read through what our informal background check entails for everybody. And again, just to keep you safe, you consented to it. And hooray! So with the background check, it doesn't take me long, really. It's an informal process. And when I've completed it, you will get an email from me that lets you know, hey, your background check cleared and you are good to go. So you'll get that as soon as I can possibly get to it. I don't like to keep you waiting. But you don't have to wait to receive that email from me to get started poking around the system. So if you want to poke around the system before you get the email, that's cool. It is set up that way so you can do that on purpose. So also one thing worth noting, if when you were signing up, you did not sign that background check consent, no worries, we can get you to sign it later. If you missed it that time, it doesn't mean you miss it forever, but we do need you to consent to it so we can perform the check before you're allowed to start volunteering. So if that's the case, send me an email and we'll get it sorted out. All right, so just a couple things. You're gonna learn Galaxy best on your own anyway, but I wanted to point out a few things to give you some guidance. For one thing, when you're new, you go over here, how do I complete my volunteer profile? That will give you some step-by-step guidance on what you do within Galaxy in order to be able to sign up. So always defer back here. For that matter, my contact information is on this page, jill.claire@fredhab.org. That's me. I am here to help you, so please reach out if you're having trouble. So you can look here for some guidance. Otherwise, just briefly, a good way to navigate the system is to click Opportunities. That will show you at any given time what's available as a volunteer. Now, as you probably already know, for all our volunteers, no matter what you're doing, you have to sign our waiver and you have to watch this orientation video. And then depending on the shift, the kind of thing you're signing up for, there might be other qualifications that you need to fulfill as well. So the system guides you through all of that super nicely. Let's say I want to be a restore volunteer. So I pick a restore thing and then I click respond. That is what brings up my qualifications pop-up. It lets me know exactly what I need to do to sign up for that task. And that is how you guys almost definitely got to this cool orientation video right there. So some of you guys have probably already seen this page and already signed the waiver, but I want to show you the waiver anyway if you haven't signed it yet. You click on the waiver. Obviously, it's important. It's legal language. Definitely be sure you read it as you're going through. And as you're going through, there's fields where you date and you sign your name. Definitely read it. It's important. I'm sorry, but it's a little bit of legalese, but you know how it is. So we're going through, we're reading it, we're submitting the pages, and we are signing and dating in the appropriate places, and then hitting the submit page. Oh, that's supposed to be my initials. That's a lot of initials I just typed in there. That's okay. And complete signing. And yes, sending it off. So be sure you sign that waiver. That's required for everybody. And then you're watching the video now. So when you've watched the video, be sure you come back and say, yes, I have completed orientation. That's how I know that you've watched it. So it's important to note, you guys, that like if you're running low on time and you don't have time to do all these things in one sitting, that's okay. You can absolutely 100% come back and finish them later. So like let's say right now you're going to finish the video and then you're out of time. That's okay. You say I finished it, you say submit qualifications, and then you log out and you go do your life things that you need to do. Then when you come back some other time to finish your qualifications, same deal, you just click on the opportunity you need, you click respond again, and you'll see the things that are still pending for you to complete. So you can see the orientation video thing is gone because I finished that, but the restore safety video and the restore safety quiz, those are still here for you to do. It's also worth noting that your waiver status will be pending just for a little bit. All I have to do is go in on my end administratively and make sure you signed in the right places with the right name, so it takes me like a day and then soon this will go away too. So anyway, once you have watched your safety video and taken your safety quiz, same deal, you come back and say, yeah, I watched it, and yeah, I took the quiz, and then same deal, you submit. And I'm going to pause this for 1 second so I can go and grade my quiz here and approve it on my end, and then I'll show you what it looks like after that. All right, so I'm back. At this point, our good friend Billy Bob James has gotten an email from me, Jill, the volunteer coordinator, to say you passed your background check and your qualifications are clear, so go ahead. So Billy Bob James rolls back into Galaxy. He's very excited to sign up for a shift. And signing up for a shift's easy. You click on opportunities, you click on what you want to sign up for, just like before, and you click respond. And now instead of the pop-up menu, pop-up box coming up with qualifications, now it's just time to sign up. So on your opportunity response, there's one more big thing that I want to point out to you. You scroll down first to pick the times that you want to volunteer. So let's say Billy Bob here wants to volunteer Tuesday, September 22nd. He just puts a little check mark next to that. And then here's the important COVID part. The COVID screening questions are at the bottom. It won't let you sign up to volunteer without answering these. And again, we're taking COVID very seriously, so please read these questions and answer honestly. It's standard screening questions at this point that you've probably seen elsewhere. So read and answer the questions honestly, and then the last one at the bottom just says, if you had answered yes to any of the above questions, for the safety of our customers, please do not sign up for a shift. And you indicate you understand that. So again, please take that seriously. We want to keep everyone safe and healthy. Once you've done that, you click Submit Opportunity Response, and you're all signed up for a shift. Every time you sign up for a shift, you get this cool box. If you use Google Calendar, then you can click on that to set yourself a reminder on your Google Calendar. If you use social media stuff, then you can click on Share to be able to share that with your friends if you have Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. But you don't have to do any of that. You can just X out of this box as well. So now our good friend Billy Bob here is all signed up for a shift. So one more thing I want to show you on Galaxy. You're going to learn it best on your own, but a handy way to navigate is right up here where your initials are. So if you click on that, then one of those options is volunteer schedule. I find this really handy. You click on that, and that way it brings you to a calendar view where you can see exactly what you've signed up for. Just you, nobody else. It makes it simple. So Billy Bob James here just signed up for September the 22nd, so we see that on his calendar. It's really easy. So explore Galaxy all you like. One more thing worth pointing out is that Billy Bob James here is signed up for a restore shift. He's not a build volunteer yet, but maybe he wants to be, right? So if he realizes he wants to sign up to build, he clicks opportunity again, and he sees some build options like South Street new construction. So he clicks on that, and then he tries to sign up, and then there's a pop-up box. That's because he hasn't taken his build safety video or his build safety quiz yet. That's okay. He can take it now and then be qualified to sign up very soon. So as you can see, Galaxy guides you through for the most part, and it doesn't let you sign up for things that you haven't met the qualifications for. So don't let Galaxy intimidate you. If you're having trouble, definitely reach out to me. My contact information is all over this site. And again, if you click how do I complete my volunteer profile, there's an easy place to find my contact information. I am here to help. So once you're all set up on Galaxy and you've signed up for a shift, let's talk about your first day. So your first day as a volunteer. We are almost at the end, guys, I promise, so hang with me here. So once you've done all those things on Galaxy and signed up for your shift, you're going to receive an email reminder before your first shift, before every shift that you have. And if you're not sure where to go, then you'll see on Galaxy the address is right there in the opportunity, and you can click on it and it'll take you to Google Maps and give you GPS directions. So it's your first day, show up on time, and when you get to your volunteering site, be sure to clock in. Now, if you're showing up at the build site, then Stephen or Emily, our construction site supervisors, will have the tablet ready to go and will help you clock in, no worries. If you're showing up at the restore, then they have the computer where you clock in right there in the front of the store. So another thing worth talking about coronavirus-wise, like I mentioned already, you can come volunteer before the restore opens up to the public these days. It's a nice way to volunteer. It's a little bit safer coronavirus-wise. So if you show up to volunteer at the restore at 9 a.m., they don't open until noon to the public. So what you can't go in the front because the door is locked. So what you have to do is go around to the back of the building, the same place where they accept donations. That's where they can let you in if you get there early or when you get there early. So just go around to the back of the building, look for the donation loading bays, and there's a doorbell that you ring. It's pretty well labeled, and so just find that doorbell, ring it, and then one of the staff members at the Restore will let you in. And it's your first day, so say, hey, I'm new. Can you show me where the clock-in computer is? And they'll be happy to show you around. They'll be happy to give you the rundown of the Restore. This is the weirdest part of volunteering during coronavirus is the fact that the orientation's online. So you don't get to see the Restore beforehand. You don't get a tour. So don't be embarrassed about asking on your first day. Everybody who works there is really nice and they're really excited to see new volunteers. So don't be shy. Whether you are at the Restore or at the build site or at the office, if you're signed up for the whole day, then bring your lunch with you. We don't provide lunch, so bring what you need. And especially on your first day, like ask all the questions you want. You cannot ask too many questions. And you're volunteers. You're here to help us out in our mission, and you're here to enjoy yourself and feel fulfilled with what you're doing. So have a great time for sure, especially on your first day, and then every day after that, because we definitely want to see you again. So after your first day, get your feet under you, understand how the system works, and sign up for another shift. Recurring repeat volunteers are the lifeblood of our organization, and we definitely need you guys. So thank you for bearing with me through this online orientation. I hope you took a break if you needed to. This is my email address, like I've already pointed out, jill.claire@fredhab.org. Email is the easiest and quickest way to get in contact with me. You're definitely welcome to call, and I'll return calls as quickly as I can, but I'm in and out of the office a lot, and, you know, it's COVID-19, so everything's a little bit weird with my schedule. So email is the best way. Please reach out to me. I am here to help. That is 100% what I am here for, and I want to make your volunteering experience as good as it possibly can be. I can't wait to meet you in person. I don't necessarily know when it's going to be, but I look forward to the day when we can have big volunteer picnics and appreciation events again. And until then, happy volunteering, and I can't wait to meet you. Bye!